When is it okay to resort to violence? Walking away with a girl he hit on hits harder than your fist. Violence is the answer when you are trapped. If you can walk away, walk away. Tim Larkin has a great book called When Violence is the Answer. Basically boils down to when you can't walk away anymore, or there's nothing you could do or say to get them to stop. One of my dad's buddies got in a fight at a bar. Did not go well. Other guy started the fight and my dad's buddy ended it. Dad's buddy punched the dude in the face and he fell and hit his head. Died. Dad's buddy ended up doing time. First, I'm going to respond the question. In case of danger or threat to the people you love and they need help. I've hit a dude that was harassing my sister, and I once hit a dude that kicked a friend of mine down a flight of stairs. Your story. You handled it excellent. There's really no need to fight someone that's probably drunk and really isn't worth it getting into this shit. Besides, you get hurt or worse, he could hit your GF if she's close. Use violence when it's really needed. Just remember, a lot of fake tough guys love to sue once you've split their wig. Walking away is always the best answer, unless you seriously think you are in danger. I've always gone by the ask tell make approach. In your case, ask to let me go, tell to let you go, and then make him let you go. How quickly you choose to go through, or even skip steps, is always situation dependent. Though the smooth/lizard brain wants to resort to violence, there is serious litigation that can follow from these sorts of things, and it's better to take a measured approach. When someone is in danger and you can't get away or get someone else away to safety. I used to be a bouncer at a gentleman's club in Dallas back in the day. So, this guy was harassing one of the girls. So myself and another bouncer went over to tell him to knock it off. I put my hand on his arm and he put a stiletto in my neck. Always be aware that shit can go sideways quick. Anything that happens in a bar, I'll let the staff take care of it. Stay for another drink and watch the guy being escorted out. Added bonus, no charges. I'm a trained fighter and this isn't a /r/I am Veribidas thing, but it's relevant. Fighting someone in public can go south very quickly. Someone can end up seriously maimed or dead if anyone involved has a knife or a hidden gang of friends, or even just falls over the wrong way. Even if no one gets that hurt, the law might get involved and find you at fault for fighting. In the end, treat fighting the same way you would drawing a firearm. If you're going to do it, there can be no hesitation in your mind that the other person must be stopped at all costs, and you are willing to deal with the physical, financial, and legal consequences of your decision. To help with the mentality of walking away, some people are assholes. They were assholes before you met them, and they will continue to be assholes after you leave. Just like there's no point in beating little kids in contests, there's no point in interacting with assholes for any longer than you need to. Personally, it takes a lot to get me to the point of violence. I don't like violence, but I'm not necessarily afraid of it either. I choose to not be intimidated, or at least not show that I am. If you can let someone know that they don't have control of you or the situation, they usually give up and just talk trash after the fact. I think it's better to win mentally than it is to win physically. In your situation, the guy attempted to have control of the situation, but you took control back and walked away. I don't think violence would have been necessary in that situation. As much as you wanted to hit him, totally understandable. There's so many ways it could have gone that things would have been worse, whether you won or not. Sometimes it just starts and ends with no one getting badly hurt, but it could have escalated to someone getting severely injured or killed, and the other person ending up in jail. You may feel like your pride has taken a hit, but you're unhurt and a free man. I think violence should only be used if you or a loved one is being attacked and there's no way to escape. Violence is always the last resort. You don't have to accept every invitation you're invited to. The civil, social, criminal, possible hospital time, risk to you and others, etc. ain't worth it, chief. You did the right thing. No point of catching a pointless charge nowadays. PPL love to sue. So only swing unless your life or your GF life is in danger. So from my experience as a co, you only use physical force when other methods have failed or are reasonably likely to fail. I think you did the right thing here. If you wanted that guy in your life, you should have hit him right then. That's your answer. If you're able to walk/back away, then violence wouldn't be necessary. A lot places have a duty to retreat clause for self-defense. Personally though, I wouldn't exactly wait for them to throw a punch if I'm trying to retreat, but they are not letting me, try to corner me, and are acting aggressive and confrontational seems like reasonable grounds to fear for your safety. In such a situation, almost never. Don't dance with monkeys. Recommended reading: Facing Violence, Preparing for the Unexpected by Rory Miller. My dad told me at an early age, do whatever you can to not get in a fight, but if you do, fight dirty. Dalton will let you know. Never bar fight. You don't know their skill level, and even if you're awesome, you can get caught with a shot that could lead to brain damage or worse. As a rule, I only respond with violence to violence. You should avoid being the aggressor, even if you weren't the instigator, for multiple reasons, such as legal purposes. You should only resort to violence when you can't walk away. The consequences are too dire. Since you could walk away, you did the right call. Imagine if you swung on this guy and he cracked his head on the way down and died, or his buddy who was behind you smashed you in your rear and knocked you out, or one of them pulled a knife. Your girlfriend got hurt because you swung. Violence has so much potential to get out of hand. You might be operating in the "oh, we just gonna swing at each other for a bit. If one of us hits the ground, it's over, and we move on." And the other guy is, "I'm going to kill this man. It'll not stop, and I won't lose." There is too much to go wrong. Violence when you can't walk away is the only answer. Not until he tries to hit you. Even if he deserves it, you shouldn't risk a charge over their drunk stupidity. At least if they try to hit first, you can call it self-defense. You really have to be careful, because even if they are a bad fighter, it only takes one fall, one blow to the wrong area to cause serious damage. This goes both ways. Either of you could get sued for damages, or you could crack your skull and go blind, lose your memory, end up in a wheelchair, or die. Lol. Sounds blown out of proportion, but it really is a lottery of luck and everyone thinks it won't happen to them. As someone who's gotten into trouble a lot in the past for being violent in scenarios like this, I can safely say it's just not worth it. You could put him in hospital, or killed him, or got the cops called on you or something like that. Unless they're swinging first, don't attack. At no point. You got away without an altercation. Keep it that way. Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. Salva Hardin, Foundation, Isaac Asimov. The second he put his hand on you. I participate in a self-defense class. Rule number 1 is to get home safe. If that means to avoid an altercation at all cost, do so. When you are home safe, with your girl I might add, you've won. If you have to fight, keep going until your opponent does not want, or is able to continue the fight. Never underestimate your opponent. If you escalate to violence, take him out as soon as possible. You did the right thing. Everybody went home safe. Violence is a last resort that I will not use unless I have to for my own or my partner's safety. Fights are much more dangerous than you would think at first, and I'm not involving myself in that if I have any other choice. If someone grabs me but doesn't escalate in any other way, I probably won't hit them. If someone grabs my girlfriend, it's go time immediately. Martial arts taught me a lot. The first lesson was the best way to win a fight is not be there. If there's a way out, take it. When there's no way out, or has been taken away, then violence becomes the answer. And that doesn't mean just punch them in the head and break your hands. It means gouge eyes, grab throats, kick in the groin, choke them unconscious, break fingers and limbs. If it's a street fight, anything goes, and you cannot trust your attacker to abide by any sort of rules of conduct. So be decisive, be deliberate, and be severe with your reaction, but only as a last resort. One of my best friends was in a similar situation about 15 years ago. He decided to punch the guy out, knocked him to the floor. He was very proud of this moment, defending his girl, being a tough guy and all. His attitude changed the next day when he was arrested for assault, was not too proud later that year when he was convicted and sentenced to weekends and evenings in prison for 1 year. His entire life for that year was work 8 hours, drive to prison, spend the night, wake up, go to work, repeat for a year. Not worth it in my opinions. He would have been better off to walk away. I think violence is only really acceptable in life or death situations. If someone is touching you, then using physical force to get them away from you is fine, but punches should only be thrown if you are fearing for your own or others' safety. There are people who will intentionally start shit with you because they want to get into a fight, and maybe they even have a knife or some other weapon. Never start anything. Always try to de-escalate and remove yourself and others from the situation as safely as possible. My dad was a paramedic and attended to quite a few bargoers who tried to defend their GF's honor or something like that, got into a fight, and got stabbed in return. Some didn't even live long enough to get to the hospital. That could have been you, Opus.